Hi guys, Happy New Year. This is the end of 2021. We are getting ready to enter into a whole new phase, seeing a page turn, seeing how things are going to start to play out. And I'm just going to be quick on this one. I don't have a lot of time to do this, but I wanted to get a message out. And then I'm going to do one on New Year's Eve. I think I'm going to do another one on New Year's Eve. But I just want to talk to you for a second about a dream that Tim had. It was several years ago, actually, but he had a dream where he was trying to make himself get to water. He was on a body like a lake or something, or water, and the water had receded, and he was trying to get to water, and he sunk waist deep in mud. And when he sunk waist deep in mud, he was unable to get himself free. And he looked over his shoulder and he heard all this commotion, and he looked and Jesus was coming on a white horse. It's according to Revelation 19. He was coming on a white horse and he was surrounded by angels, and part of it looked like clouds. And he said the angel just broke away from the other ones and came and picked him up out of the clay and put his feet on a solid ground. And he gave him a message. And he said to Tim, he said, look for the woman whose face is, and then he took his hand like a claw and went across his face like this. And it took us 8 months to try and figure out what on earth that was. We didn't know if it's a literal woman. We didn't know if it was someone who was in travail. They'd been disfigured. They were in agony. They were something scarred. We didn't know what was going on. And then someone came to town and they said, let me pray about this. And they just happened to get the interpretation. The very next day they called up and said, I believe this is the interpretation of your dream. They said the woman is the church. And the message is look for the face, look for the woman, look for the face of the church that's changing. And so when you go back into Revelation 19, it talks about Jesus coming on a white horse. It also says that he's coming with justice and with war. So the face of the church that's changing right now, what's happening is the face of the church, the image of the church, the reflection of the church, the way that the church will be identified is a warring bride. It's a warring bride. It's someone who's going to be able to train. God trains our hands for war. In Exodus 15, it talks about God as a warring God. Exodus 15:3, it says the Lord is a Lord of war. He's a warring Lord. And I believe this is what's happening now. We are stepping into a time where God's going to train our hands for war. He's going to teach us how to fight spiritual battles. He's going to teach us how to win spiritual battles. He's going to teach us how to go forth and get the victory. Okay, there's been a number of reasons why we have not been proactive at advancing the kingdom. And one is because we haven't known how. But now God says, and it goes right back to that dream. Jesus was coming on a white horse. In Revelation 19, it says he comes with justice and with war. And so we are entering into a wartime season in the spirit. In the spirit, remember, we don't war against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness in high places, principalities and powers in high places. And we've already been given the victory, but we have to take it. And there's also a place that says you need to war a good war according to the prophecies that you've been given, which means you've been given prophetic words, you've been given prophetic dreams, you've been given things that have given you ideas or understanding about things that are getting ready to happen. Now it's time to war a good war. Because those things aren't just going to roll over and happen for you. It's not going to be like a red carpet rolling out in front of you, right? It's going to be that you war that war and you take victory. You take that thing that God gave you. Take it. Do not let go of anything God has promised you. If he's promised it to you, it's yours. You just have to go and get it, and you have to separate everything else from it, right? So you just enter into that time where you're going, I'm taking it. I'm taking the promise that I've been given. And I thought it was really interesting. I was looking back at Abimelech. And this is in Genesis, I think 20. And it was talking about where Abraham had told Sarah, look, tell him that you're my sister because you're beautiful and he's going to want to take you. So I don't want him to kill me in order to get you. So just tell him you're my sister. And it says that Abimelech had a dream. And in the dream said, you're a dead man. That's what he told him. He told Abimelech, you're a dead man. And he goes, what? And he goes, this Abraham is married to Sarah. She is not his sister. And so Abimelech begins to go to God and go, are you going to kill me? Like I was innocent. I just didn't know, you know? And he says, no, I'm not going to. I'm going to spare your life because you did it with an innocent, you know, you didn't know. You thought she was his sister. And so I'm thinking about right now where God's going to begin to come to people in dreams, and he's going to tell the truth. He's going to tell the truth about things. He's going to say, look, this is that is not that. Whatever you've heard, that's not what it is. This is what it is. And then there'll be this strict warning with it. If you go against what you know is true in that time, you know, I take my hands off. You know, there could be any number of things that'll happen. I think we're entering into some times we've never seen before, but we're going to watch God be a God of war. We're going to watch him train our hands to war. We're going to come into agreement with the warring part of heaven that takes the kingdom by force. And we're going to begin to see God remove all kinds of wickedness and expose all kinds of wickedness. But it's not going to come without a cost. It always has a cost. There's always something that will try and bring, you know, you to a point where you're like, oh my gosh, you know, this is costing me something in order for me to take hold of this or grab onto this. And so I just want to encourage you. I want to let you know that we are headed into some great times. We're going to watch the kingdom be advanced in epic levels. We're going to watch a harvest come in that we've never seen before. We're going to see how God's positioning us, but it's also his gig. Okay, so let's remember that this is God's gig. He's the one who is designing. He is the one who is building the church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against the church. If you try and build a church, you will labor in vain to build it. And that means the mindset of the church. That means what we think we are, who we think we are, who we know ourselves to be. So God is getting us ready to do battle. But we've already been given the victory. And he's already told us how it's going to go down. So I believe we're going to see some incredible things. God is not mocked. He is going to do what he said he was going to do. So we're looking at God being a God of war, God coming, the dream that Tim had. Look for the woman, look for the church, we are the church. Okay, so it's not an organization. We are the church. Look for the church whose face is changing. In other words, whose disposition is changing from one of just, oh, love and flowers and wonderful things and all things. It is a warring church. It's a church that will say, we will not roll over and be directed, commanded, or instructed by any voice that goes against the voice of what God has told us to do. We belong to him first. And that's exactly what he wants us to do. So again, on New Year's Eve, I'm going to come back on here. I'm going to look a little better than I do now. I've been babysitting my grandson, and so he didn't sleep at night, and I didn't either. So anyway, but I want to get one out for you today, and I want you to know that God is with us. All right, and he's going to see that we become the warring bride. We become the bride that says we're not going to quit. We're not going to quit. We are going to see the victory from heaven's perspective, and it's going to be amazing. So, all right. God bless you guys. I will see you again on New Year's Eve, and I love you. All right. And get ready. This is the best time ever. He trains us. He trains us to do this stuff. All right. All right. Talk with you soon. Okay. Bye.